Peace, family. Peace. I'm going to try to dive right into this today. I'm going to wait for some of you to come on.
Celebrating the naturalness of the Earth's orbit.
I do not own the rights to this music.
This song speaks of the naturalness.
Peace, family. Peace.
Of the universe.
Peace, peace, peace. Yes. Come in and share.
Mankind is a child of the sun. Mankind
Hey, family.
is a child of the sun.
I'm so happy to see you seeing me today.
First came the moon,
Come on in.
which reflected the sun, and together the sun and the moon bore the earth. As she pleased, sighed the winds, cried the seas. Mother Nature indeed had a glorious birth. Mankind is a child of the sun, yeah. Mankind is a child
Peace, family,
of the
peace.
sun.
Share life.
Sometimes in life there are problems and strife, and it seems that our dreams are mere figments of time. Earth as she turns holds the truth we could earn.
Come in and share.
See her fall, see her spring.
Give me some likes and shares. Let me know you there. I can't see anybody. I see it says, a little eye up there says I have somebody on with me. But give me some love, some hearts, or something to let me know you there.
Mankind is a child of the sun.
Peace. Hotep family. Ankemaya. I'm just inviting people in. Hey. Yes. Don't it sound good? It sound good, don't it?
First came the moon, which reflected the sun, and together the sun and the moon
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. That's Child of the Sun is by Georgia and Muldrow. Georgia and Muldrow. That's Child of the Sun. I love, love, love that song. No, it's not Layla Hathaway. She does sound like her, doesn't she? Yeah. Well, peace, family. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming in. Make sure you share. Make sure you like. Give me some hearts. You know how they say they do all that stuff. But just so I can know you there. I can actually see you guys now. At first, I couldn't see you because I was inviting people in. But you saw the title. The topic of today was and is reflection versus reflection. And, you know, as I do, this is my way of doing things, is I tell a story to explain opposed to giving you what that really means so that you can have a better meaning. But before I do that, I always give you the definition. So basically, before I do all that, how's everybody today? Everybody good? Everybody good? Everybody good. That's good. Y'all beautiful. Beautiful people. I love you. Okay. I pulled up the definition on my phone. I didn't get a chance to make a lot of notes today. So I'm kind of winging this. But basically, these things come to me based off of events, experiences, things that happen. And so that's why I'm able to share these things the way I do. Peace to you all. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you for coming in and taking a look at what I'm talking about. 22 minutes. Somebody ring the timer. Ding, 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 ding. Who gonna be my timer for me? 22 minutes from the time I start talking will be 6:52. 6:52. Be ring-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Somebody ding-a-ling-ling-ling on there for me. Okay, let me see where, okay. What I was getting ready to give you was the definition of reflection. And the reason it's reflection versus reflection, you'll understand. Because every word has all these meanings, but it's just one word. So I don't know how it can mean so many things, right? That's why it's best to either tell a story and or so people can visualize in their mind what it is that you're speaking of, and then they have a better understanding. That's why when you read a book, you see the story. It's like you're watching a movie. It's the same concept. These words are the same way. I may say a word to you that means totally different to me, but your understanding of the word will give you a different definition. Okay, reflection. It says, the throwing back by a body or surface of light, heat, or sound without absorbing it. An example is the reflection of light. And I keep telling you that we are reflections of each other because we are light beings. We are light beings, right? So we're a reflection of light. The other definition number 2 says serious thought or consideration, which means you're reflecting back on something, right? Okay, so now, the first definition is like the reflection that you would see of something reflecting off something, some type of light reflecting off of something. I think of also, when I think of the definition reflection, I wouldn't have used either one of these. My reflection, for my definition, is you. My reflection, my definition is my mirror, right? When I look in the mirror, I see a reflection of myself. I've never seen myself. I'm looking at myself on this screen right now, but I don't know. You only know what I look like. I've never physically saw myself without the reflection of a mirror. And then the other one is reflecting back on something that happened, like something in the past. Our past is only where we live. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to recap a few things for you, because I've said throughout the other topics that I've talked about how the reflection, how the past is all that matters, right? Your past is what matters. Right now is right now, and your past is what matters. That's how you learn. You learn from your past. You learn from the past of our ancestors, from the past. So if you reflect back to those things, then you will see how that work, right? The reflection as looking at each other and seeing each other. The story I'm going to tell today is, a lot of my stories are going to include probably, because they're my personal experiences, and this will show you, who and what I spent most of my time doing throughout life, right? And who I spent that time with. I have a two-part story. As you guys know, I'm a widow, but I'm currently remarried, right? But at the time when I originally was married, I was married at age 24. And at age 24, I was, I don't know that you would say I was ready to be married or not married or what. I don't know. But I was married for 18 years before he passed away. I didn't know what I know today, but in my reflection, meaning looking back, then applying it today, I see that I was married to a reflection of myself. I was attracted to him because of the reflection. Because he looked like me, that he looked like the man version of me, if that's even makes sense, so he and we met at a nightclub or cabaret. That's what it was, a cabaret. How could I forget that, right? We met at a cabaret, and at this cabaret, he saw me from across the room. I know this sounds like one of those stories that's like, yeah, this sounds made up, and everybody thinks it's a made up story, but it's the truth. He saw me from across the room. He was playing pool in the pool hall at this cabaret hall. I was coming out of the bathroom, and I was just walking, and he was like, waving his hands, and I'm like looking like, who you talking to, me? And I went over, and I met him. I was there with my bestie, everybody knows, Queen Tika, Tia. She's, that's my girl. And so we were there together, and I ran in there to tell her about this guy that I just met. I'm like really excited about this guy I just met because he kind of cool or whatever. But I always played it down. I've always played down, anybody showing interest in me because, of course, I was young then, right? So, again, I met him when I was like 18 or 19 years old. I was about 19 when I met him. Well, he gave me his number, and I stuck it in my shoe. I stuck it in my shoe because I didn't carry a purse or anything. So I stuck his number in my shoe. As we're leaving, you had to check your coat. So I'm walking up to get my coat check, and we're just talking, me and Tia having a conversation, and we hear somebody at the front of the line talking to the person that's getting the coat, and was like, bitch, I'll fuck you up like a nigga in the street. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on in here? She look, I look, and I'm like, Tia, that's the guy that just gave me his number. She was like, girl, throw that thing away and throw it away, burn it, don't even call him. So I was like, oh, bet, heck no. He talking to a woman like that, or whoever he was talking to, right? So now I'm upset and like, tripping out about the fact that, he is said this to this woman. We going on about this. So let's fast forward. I'm fast. That's my fast forward sound. Yeah, I'm cracking myself up today. But we fast forward. Time goes by, probably about 2-3 weeks, and we bored all the time. All the time we're bored when you're young. You're over your girl's house and you're hanging out and you're doing your thing, and you're sitting up there like, let's call somebody. Remember when you had the house phone and everybody wanted to use your house phone when they came over to the house and talk to somebody instead of entertaining you? Because that was already in play. Look at that. That was already in play before the cell phone even came about. Everybody wanted to come over to your house, use your house phone, and talk to the boys because they couldn't talk to them at the house. That was the thing. So now, anyway, so we're over a friend of ours' house, and I'm sitting there, and I got my shoe box of numbers, literally a box with phone numbers in them of people that I'm going to call, boys, men, whatever. So I get pull out the number, and I decide to call him. He says, I thought you weren't going to never call me. For a long time, I wasn't going to call him, but I decided to call him. I was like, what the heck, it ain't nothing he could do to me, no way. Well, we ended up, long story short, we ended up getting together, and he wasn't the person that I thought he was based off of that one incident. So that shows me that total attraction and that reflection that I had, that I saw in him at that time, was not of me, but that was an isolated incident, maybe not, because now it's time, fast forward, I see he does have a temper. He has all these things going on that, but it always takes a certain person to bring a person to a different level. After he met me, he calmed down. He was different. I mean, he was the best father, the best husband, provider, all that, he was awesome. And that's why I said that I truly saw my reflection in him as he saw it in me. Because at that time, he was, I'm sorry, I got distracted. At that time, he was trying to find himself, I believe. I believe he was trying to find himself. So then there's another story that coincides with that, right? So I saw myself in him. He saw himself in me, and we were married and we got along and everything, right? You always wonder why you have someone in your life or someone shows up in your life, but you attract what your situation is at the time. What I mean by that is, whenever you're in a situation, the people that you attract in your life then makes you think that they're the perfect person for that time, right? Because, not for that time, for a lifetime. We make lifetime decisions based off of a one-time event. And so after my husband passed away, I met a man who then told me that we couldn't believe that we met each other. Like, everything seemed to line up, and we seemed to be just like each other. I never met anybody like him. He was like, I was like, this is it. You know how we do. You know how women are. We do. This is it. We get married, and this is going to be my forever and forever and forever. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case, because sometimes people are put in your presence because they look like your reflection at the time. They're not necessarily your reflection. They're your reflection at that moment in time in which you are, where you're at that moment. We are continual changing people. And if you can't be continually changing with me, or at least accepting me for who I am and meeting me where I'm at, because sometimes people get very upset when they get with somebody, especially when it's women. They get with Adrian, go out and come back in. Sometimes they get upset when women change, but women are forever changing. But women say men are forever changing. But what they don't understand is men do what they have to do to get you where they want to get you to, and they will continue. If that's what they did and they're that type of man, they will continue to do what it was that they did to get you into their lives, the reflection that you saw at that time. But unfortunately, you have elevated to another level. You have moved up to another level. And is it 2 minutes left? Good gracious. You have moved up to another level in your life. So therefore, you cannot be accepting of the things that they actually still are doing. You appreciate those things, but that's where you have to step in and say, okay, I accept him for who he is or she is, and I meet them where they're at. And I'm speaking from a woman's standpoint because I'm a woman, and this is how I comprehend what it is that goes on. And this is how my experience makes it my reality, that makes it my truth, right? And when I share my experience, you either believe it or you don't believe it, right? And you either agree or don't agree. But you need to know that you should accept what I'm saying, meet me where I'm at, and we can agree to disagree, right? But, and that's how we all get along too. That's the message there in itself, was how we get along with each other. Anyway, so because I thought this man was going to be mine forever, and it didn't turn out that way, I think my next immediate reflection that appeared to me is the husband that I have today. Okay? So this reflection of me that appeared in this man who appeared to have everything I wanted, everything I ever said I wanted, everything I was looking for, the security, the protection, the everything, peace, Survivor Hall, peace. And we're going to stay on Survivor because I'm going to talk about you in just 1 second, okay? I know I only had 2 minutes left. Unfortunately, I'm going to get this 22 minutes down. I'm telling you, I'm going to get it down. The other thing about the reflection of reflecting to your past, if you stay working on what is going to happen, you're never living in the now, and you're always living in the past. You're never living in the now, and you're always living in the future. What's getting ready to happen? And when you're thinking about what's getting ready to happen to you, most times we're thinking of things that are not good. Had a conversation today with a young man, and I was explaining to him that you have to think about what's going on right now. Don't focus on those things that are going on right now. That's going on that you cannot change. The things that you cannot change, you do not focus on at this moment. If it's nothing you can do about it right now. So if someone got on your phone right now and called you and told you that the police was outside your house and you're at work, the police is outside your house and they're beating a man in front of your house, right? I'm just making up something, right? They call you to tell you that. Why? To inform you, not for you to leave your job, come home, see what's going on. Then it was nothing you could do about it because it wasn't nothing, didn't even really concern you to begin with. But because it had something to do with your house, you wanted to be there. What you have to understand is that when you focus on things that are not right now, and you focus on those things continuously, you feed them, you give them energy. And those things manifest in your life, whatever those things are, whatever they are, whether good or bad. So quit thinking, so far in advance. We're taught to think futuristic, right? We're taught to think in the future. We need to stop thinking in the future and think right now in the present of what we're doing. Right now, I'm only thinking about right now. Right now, I'm only thinking about you looking at me and me looking at you. That's it. I see you seeing me. You get what I'm saying? That's all I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about hopefully I'm touching somebody and somebody is understanding what I'm saying as I'm sharing my truth with you. Okay? I asked for, I'm going to cut this because I'm trying to keep it down and I don't know. Maybe I should write notes or something better. I don't know. We're going to figure this out. Y'all know this is my first week. I appreciate all the support and I just keep on sharing. Okay? But I want to share this with you real quick. This is something totally off of the reflection, okay, versus the reflection. On my feed right now, I have a young man. His name is Survivor Hall. Well, his name is, it starts with a Q. I can't pronounce it. But we're going for the purpose of this, we're going to call him King Hall, okay? King Hall, I met on a ride to, I'm a Lyft driver, and I picked him up, and we met on a ride. We just were having a great conversation with each other. And he seemed kind of, laid back, chilled out. And so we kind of gigged with each other, had a conversation. And during that conversation, and if you don't want me to share King Hall, let me know. So before I go any further. So we basically, as we were having a conversation, I always get into conversations with people on a regular basis in my vehicle. All right? Because you never know who you're going to have a conversation with or how you're going to impact their life or how they will impact your life. Okay? This young man was, when it was time to get out the car, we still sat there talking, okay? He gave me permission to share. He shared with me that he had just moved here to Michigan and that he had a little boy and a baby on the way who's actually here. Congratulations. Congratulations on that little prince. And during the conversation, he was telling me about all the things that has happened to him throughout his life and the reason that he came here. And I was very shocked to hear his story because you don't hear this story. Nobody talks about this. It's the story of what happens in this house stays in this house. I'm going to understand when I'm sharing this because he shares it all the time. He has a page. He shares this information. He gave me permission to share. As a child, he was molested, regularly molested, okay? And he's a young man. You hear about the young girls and things, but you don't hear about the young men like that. He told me this story because he was hurting. But he says that he's getting better because he said he set a platform where he can exercise these things to express himself, to get it off his chest, to, put the person out there that done it, did this to him over years span where people didn't believe that these things had happened to him, And I really don't want to tell the story for him. What I'm going to do coming up, and I'm supposed to I should have gotten with you, but I didn't. But I want Tim to share his story. So actually, I was going to interview him on, my platform that I have here, and have him share his story to the depths of what the story is, because it needs to get out there. Not only is he helping other people, and sharing his story, because that's what it's about. That's why I tell stories. Understand, I tell stories to help you relate to and understand what it is. So that's why I tell stories, and I want him to tell his story to you personally. I'm going to interview him. Really, he's just going to, I'm going to ask him a few questions, but I know he is he has a voice, and, and I'm very happy that he's doing much better, because he didn't realize that this was what was keeping him down. We so many times don't know what is holding us back until we actually do. Look at that. It just lined right up until we reflect on the things that has happened to us. The reflection of what has happened to us can hold us back, hold us down, have us in a depressed state, have us in a place where things are not great for us. So if we just let it go and share this information with each and every person, it doesn't matter. Half of the world is going through what you're going through. And you think you all by yourself. You think that you don't have anybody there that even cares. This also, because I spoke with King Hall, he touched my heart so much. I love this young man. I love him because not only because he is my reflection and a reflection of me, but because he cares not only for himself. He didn't do this just to try to condemn and convict this man for what he's done to him all this time. He did it to free himself from this and to free others in the process, right? To be free is to free your mind. A free mind, a clear mind is to be free. Otherwise, you're really walking around with shackles on your brain. Because if you only keeping it to yourself, let it be known. That's all I'm asking you to do, is just let it be known that something is going on, and everyone will respond. Meaning that there's somebody who's going to respond who can relate. There's somebody who's going to respond who wants to help. There's somebody who's going to respond who's going to deny it all, right? Who's going to say that it was all the other person's fault, that they drew these things to them, right? We need to be there for each other. And this is what I spoke of, and I'm going to keep revisiting the God aspect. We are gods. And because we are gods, each and every one of us, we need to be there for that person when they say their prayers, when they're calling and petitioning for something. We are the gods that they're looking for. They're not looking for an external God that's up above, that's supposed to shine some light down on you and give you this. No, the light that shines on you is the sun. The sun that's in the sky shines on you, and it gives you revelation. It gives you clarity. It gives you you can meditate in the sun and get so much clarity and understanding, downloads and things like that, right? So what I'm saying to you today is that we are gods and that we have to be there for each other. We have to be there for each other. I was trying to read what Adrian said. She said, the Christians do, but we know better. Right. The Christians do look to an external God. But I don't even know that we know that because we are the gods. That's the thing I'm saying. I don't know that we know because we are gods that we have a responsibility to stand up in the place of that God that we thought was supposed to be doing something when all along it was each other. Somebody should have been there for King Hall. There was many gods that was around that knew what was going on, that did not stand up for King Hall. He was a child. In his mind, he's probably thinking, where was God? And God was all around. God was all around. You get what I'm saying? Watching. Just like we say that external God sits down and watch us things happen to us. Right? God sitting there watching us. They were doing the same thing. But then you don't want to be associated with that particular God. Why not? Because you're just like that God. You're just like that external God. You sat there and watched this happen to King Hall. You sat there and watched these things go on in his life. You knew if he was going to school, which I saw a video where he said he was going to school and he would go to sleep in class and things was going on in school and nobody paid attention. Why not? His teacher was God. His classmates were God. Their parents, their people, his people. but none of them came to assist him in the pain he was going through, even after the pain was over. So I just want to let you guys know, you guys all know that I appreciate you tuning in, and please share. I'll be better prepared tomorrow. I'm going to try to wrap this up in, like I said, 22 minutes. I know I say this every day, 22 minutes. But I know this is an urgent matter, so we may go ahead and do this sooner than later. I know you want to get your story heard, you want to get it out there, and you want to get this man exposed for the things that he has done to you, because more than likely, he's still doing the same thing to somebody else. And no one's doing anything about it. So what I'm going to do is get with King Hall, and soon I will have him on my platform where I'm going to interview him, and he's going to tell his story. It's very deep. Like I said, I love you all. I love you, King Hall. Thank you for tuning in today. I love all of my brothers and sisters. I want to say peace, love, and light. But I'm going to sign off from here. And yes, Adrian, he's still out there. That's what I'm saying. Ain't nobody doing nothing for the... I'm just saying. And just remember, we're children of the sun, right? That's why we need to get that sun, that energy that drives off the sun. I just want to say peace, love, and light. I love you all.
Mankind is a child of the sun. Mankind is a child of the sun. First came the moon, which reflected the sun, and together the sun and the moon bore the earth. As she pleased, sighed the winds, cried the seas. Mother Nature indeed had a glorious birth. Mankind is a child of the sun, yeah. Mankind is a child of the sun. Sometimes you see. Find